Now, to look at these, we've got airplane, and what do you need for an airplane? A plane ticket. Many times people just say ticket. I've got my ticket. Now, when you want to get that ticket, the first thing you need to do is to book a flight. And in order to book a flight, you need to make reservations. So booking a flight is the whole process of selecting your flight, planning your itinerary, which is where you take off from and where you land, and then when you come back, the whole process there is your itinerary, you know, from place to place to place, the dates, the times, and so on. So you have to plan your itinerary. You then have to make reservations to make sure you can have the times and the places and the flights that you want. And then finally, when it's time to put your money down, to put that credit card in the little online thing, at that point, you must book your flight, right? Remember, making reservations is not booking a flight. Reservations can be canceled very easily. You're just saying, I want a seat on this flight. Booking a flight, now we're talking money. You're in a contract. Now, let's see. I'm going to unmute everybody here. And let's see. We've got Shell and Guy and Auni. Auni, can you tell me the difference between a direct flight and a connecting flight? Or can anyone tell me the difference?
The direct, the connect flight, we go with more ones than airplane. We have a station, one or more stations, but the direct we don't have a station.
Correct. Yeah. If we said another way to call a direct flight is a non-stop flight.
Right.
Exactly. And the connecting flight is saying, well, you know, I went from Tel Aviv and I want to go to New York, but there weren't any direct flights that day, so I had to take a connecting flight from Madrid. So, absolutely right. Direct, nonstop, A, B, that's it. Connecting flight, you can have any number of connecting flights. What is a layover? A layover is that period between your connecting flights. You leave Ben Gurion Airport at Tel Aviv, you fly into Malpensa in Italy, and your flight to Pittsburgh isn't for another 6 hours. Great, you have a 6-hour layover in Milano, waiting for your connecting flight to Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. Those are the best layovers to have. Is in a cool city where you have a lot of time to go out and explore, and it's not 3 in the morning and it's not raining. Okay. If we look now at the types of tickets, I'm sure you're familiar with these. We can have first class, hot towels, champagne, wonderful things. You come into the plane and you turn left. I think a rock and roll musician wrote a song about turning left when you enter the plane and how nice it is to be rich. Now, there's a second thing that's not quite first class, but it's not the cheapest one, and this is called business class. Some airlines have this, some don't. Things are changing, but usually it's for business people. It's much nicer than regular, economy, coach. Those are the cheapest seats where you're like this, and you know you're buying your lunch or your snacks, and you're using your own earphones, and you know it's pretty cheap. And then we have the economy class or the coach ticket. These are words used interchangeably. Coach is considered a nicer word than economy when it comes to tickets. They mean exactly the same thing. The reason airlines don't want to use this word economy is they don't want their customers to think, cheap, right? It's not. Well, it is. They don't want you to think that way, so they call it economy or coach. Okay, a red-eye flight. Who knows what a red-eye flight is? Put it in the chat box. See if you can take a guess while I take a sip of coffee. Okay, think about the word eye, red eye. What type of flight would make your eyes turn red? Okay, I'm going to tell you. A red-eye flight is a flight that goes all night long, where normally you would be in your bed asleep, but instead you decide to travel from LA, Los Angeles, all the way home to Tel Aviv. And it's a cheap flight because it's all night long, and you think, oh, I can sleep on the plane and it'll be fine. But in fact, what happens is everybody comes out of the plane with red eyes, and that's a red-eye flight.